What's going on, everybody? It's GameUnboxingReviews here, and welcome back to another LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 video. So, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the top 5 Marvel 2099 characters that I'd like to see in this game. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so first up on my list is all new, all different Spider-Man 2099. Now, this is of course still Miguel OHara, but he's wearing a different suit. And while personally I much prefer the suit that we're getting in the game, I absolutely love the classic blue and red, this one's still pretty sweet, and of course it's up to date with Marvel Comics right now. So I think it would be nice if they could add this version of the suit in the game as well. I know there's a lot of people that do want this version of Miguel OHara's costume in the game, and I think it would be really cool. But like I said, I much prefer the classic blue and red Spider-Man 2099 look, but I would not be against seeing this one in the game because I think it would be very, very cool. Next up on my list is Iron Man 2099, and to give you a little bit of a more backstory on this version of the character, Sonny Frisco was an inventor who was approached by Alchemax CEO Miguel Stone to become a member of their Avengers team. He used his intelligence to create an armor and took up the mantle of Iron Man in the year 2099. Now personally, I think he has an awesome looking suit, and I would love to see this in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. This isn't the only version of Iron Man 2099 though. There is another version from the Iron Man Armored Adventures cartoon. It really depends on if TT Games want to use that one or not. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if Iron Man 2099 will make it into the game. This is just my idea, but if they decide to go with that one instead, I'd be perfectly fine with it because it looks really cool. But I just decided to choose Sonny instead because it's more in line with what the comics are doing at the moment. Now then, as for his abilities, it would be pretty cool if we could have suit-ups again. You know, I really don't know if that's going to carry on over into LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2, we'll have to wait and see, but it will be pretty cool. And since, you know, the game is now going to be next gen only, hopefully that means that the game can handle more transformation animations and suit ups and stuff like that, because seeing the suit ups in LEGO Marvel's Avengers was amazing, and honestly it never got old. I love seeing those animations, and if we got a return of them in this game with new characters, that would be very cool. Obviously Sonny would also be able to fly, repair things, he'd have energy projection abilities, melt gold Lego, cut gold Lego objects, destroy silver Lego objects, and use technology as well. Iron Man's always seemed to be quite a useful character in the LEGO games, so Sonny would be no different really. He's not Tony Stark, but he's, you know, the best they're going to get in the year 2099, so yeah, I think he'd be a pretty cool addition to the game. Next up we have the Hulk 2099. So John Eisenhart was unwillingly exposed to gamma radiation by the Knights of Banner, a cult that was devoted to the original Hulk and wished to recreate the accident that resulted in Bruce Banner becoming the Incredible Hulk of the 21st century. So this guy right away, you know, the transformation from him to the Hulk is horrible. I mean, obviously Bruce Banner had a hard time becoming the Incredible Hulk. You know, he didn't want that. That wasn't something he was hoping to happen. But John Eisenhart had it literally forced upon him by the Knights of Banner. That's pretty crazy. The worst part is when you look at Bruce Banner and you see him transform into the Hulk, he basically just turns into a big green version of himself. Whereas with John Eisenhart, it messes up his face. He's got big teeth. He has these, you know, his spine looks different. He looks a lot more like a lizard than the Hulk, and it's pretty crazy. And I would love to see that design in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. So obviously for the abilities, his abilities for starters would be being able to transform into 2099 Hulk. What I love about the LEGO Marvel games is they give you a character like Bruce Banner and he can turn into the Hulk, and that never gets old. I love seeing that animation, and I loved how they mixed it up a bit more with LEGO Marvel's Avengers. And of course, you know, you had General Ross who could turn into Red Hulk. So obviously John Eisenhart should be able to transform into 2099 Hulk. Now then, obviously as well, he would have super strength, he could destroy cracked Lego objects, climb walls, and super jump. Really can't wait to see if this character makes it into the game, because I love this idea of the Hulk in the year 2099, because it's just so weird compared to other versions, so it's pretty cool. Next up on my list is Daredevil 2099. Now, the reason I love this version of Daredevil so much is because his origin is just insane. I really wasn't expecting anything like this when I read about this version of the character. So, Samuel Fisk was the grandson of Wilson Fisk, better known as the Kingpin. During Samuel's childhood, his father reminded him time and time again that his grandfather killed Matt Murdock, the original Daredevil. Now, Samuel grew up hating the truth behind these his stories, and in his adult life, he eventually assumed control of all Fisk family interests. So obviously in doing so, he then had lots of money and lots of power. But despite the money and power he had, Samuel still remained guilty over the source of his power, and in an attempt to try and make amends for his family's crimes over the years, he decided to spend a considerable portion of his family's fortune on an advanced battle suit, which he wore as he fought crime by night, using the name of his grandfather's greatest enemy, Daredevil. So he is a pretty awesome version of the character. I love the idea of taking someone from a very bad family, of course, you know, the Fisk family, and turning them good. And there's a lot more to the comic than just that. There's family drama between his wife and his kids. Really, really interesting stuff. I highly recommend you guys check that comic out because it is so cool. Now, one of the things that's different about this, obviously this is the year 2099, so we're not just talking billy clubs and a simple suit. This guy has a much better suit than Matt. He of course has, basically he has his billy clubs, but he's not very good at using them, so he doesn't really use them much. So instead of that, he uses his pistols. So we could have billy clubs as a melee attacks in the game, and if you hold down, say for example, square, he uses 2 pistols to shoot at enemies and shoot at targets and stuff like that. Now the suit also increases his strength, agility, and durability. I don't know how much it increases all of that, so you know, I'm not exactly saying that he should be able to pick up heavy objects or smash crack Lego objects, but it's something to, you know, think about at least. And of course, another thing he can do is apparently he can fly. Now, from what I've seen, you know, he doesn't exactly fly. He more jumps, you know, pretty high. But from what I've seen, it just looks like he could fly. So it depends on what TT Games will want to do. If they want to make him fly, they want to make him super jump. But, you know, this character is awesome, and I would absolutely love to be able to play as him in New York City 2099 in this game, because it would just be so much fun. And last but most certainly not least, the final character on my list is Venom 2099. So Kron Stone was the older half-brother of Miguel OHara, Miguel of course being Spider-Man in the year 2099, and he was also the son of Tyler Stone. Now after Kron gave the order to have the Punisher 2099's family killed, Punisher found Kron and fatally wounded him, leaving his body in a sewer. However, soon after that, Kron's body bonded with the symbiote in the sewers and formed a new Venom. Now, what's interesting about this version of the symbiote is that it's actually mutated over the years. So while it still gives its host all the powers of Spider-Man and Venom, it also now allows the host to shoot acidic saliva. So that's a pretty crazy thing they could add to this version of Venom that would be unique to this version. So obviously if they added other versions of Venom, then they would be able to do that. Now, other abilities, of course, what I would love to see is the ability to transform into Kron Stone. Now, in LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 1, we had Big Figure Venom. This time around, I would love it, if that doesn't come back, to be able to transform into the civilian versions of these characters. Now, I know a lot of people probably don't care about being able to play as Kron Stone. That's completely understandable, but I just love the idea of having both the hero or villain and their alter ego as well. I think that's really, really cool. So hopefully they could do something like that. And of course, who doesn't want to see an animation where you're playing as Kron Stone, you hold down triangle, and you see the symbiote crawl up his body and take over? That would just be sweet. The design team at TT Games, you know, that make the animation, they always do an incredible job at the animations in these LEGO games, and I'm sure they would do an amazing job at a symbiote animation like that. Now, other abilities I could see him have is super strength, shoot webs, shoot acidic saliva, web swing, and of course wall climb. The more Spider-Man content in this game, the merrier, because from what we've seen already, it looks amazing. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for this video, but I want to know from you guys, what 2099 characters would you like to see in LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2? Obviously, this was my list, but I missed out a bunch. You know, I mentioned Punisher 2099, but he's not actually on my list. There's also a Ghost Rider 2099. While he's not on my list, he looks really, really cool, and I would love to see him in the game. So, let me know what 2099 characters you would like to see in this game in the comment section below, as I'd love to know. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Stay tuned for lots more videos real soon, and as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.